welcome, guys. This is exciting. So this is the first group call for Coffee and Words, and I'm so excited to have all of you. Cameron's back.
Hey,
Yay.
hey,
Hey, hey.
how's it going?
Going well. We've seen you before. So
Yes,
for my audience, we're going to all welcome you back and introduce who you have here with us today. Who'd you bring?
yes. So I brought with me a few of my Southern Word friends. So we have Gabriela Gonzales, who's one of the poet mentors with me. She does a lot with the fiction writing. And then we also have Khadidja, who is one of our youth poets who's been working with us through the Echo Squad, which is one of our internships this year. So super excited to have them on. I think they are amazing people and just really embody a lot of what we're trying to do with Southern Words. So yes.
Awesome. And congratulations to you on being offered Poet Laureate of Murfreesboro. I saw your
Thank-
post the other day. Super excited for that. I know you
Yeah,
worked hard.
thank you. It's super exciting, and this is definitely something I've been shooting for a long time. So very excited to have this position. Very honored. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so for anyone who did not watch the last episode that we did together, just give me a brief rundown of the difference between page poetry and performance poetry so people kind of understand the difference.
Yes. So page poetry, as it's stated, is just something more for the page. So you may see this in books like Dr. Seuss, or maybe you see this in magazines, things like that. And it can be read, but again, it's mostly for the page. And then spoken word is what we would consider performance poetry. So that is when you see a person embodying their entire self into the performance. So their volume, their voice, their energy, their emotions, everything comes out, and the entire thing really completes the poem into a whole new space. So that is spoken word.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome. And tell me a little bit about Southern Word and the organization. And you guys can just jump in here as you want. Tell me a little bit about that and then about the work that you're doing in schools.
Yeah. So I just kind of start with a little bit of the overall, and I'll let them share their thoughts on it too. But Southern Word, not to be confused with spoken word, we get a lot of that. But Southern Word is the organization where we teach literacy through poetry, all kinds of creative performances, and just really helping young people find their voices in these different avenues. And so we have been around since 2008, even though us on this call had not been in it since 2008. But the organization has been around since 2008 and has really been in all schools all over the Middle Tennessee area, other areas outside of Tennessee, like Alabama. We've gone to Knoxville, we've gone to Memphis, and just all over. And we send students to national competitions like Brave New Voices and just really help them to find their voices in just really strong avenues. And so it's a really great program that I enjoy being a part of, and it's phenomenal for sure.
That is awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Gabriella, how did you get involved with this?
Yeah, so I came to Nashville in 2015 to go to Belmont, and I'm a writer. I write long fiction is kind of my thing, so books, sci-fi is my love, and when I started at Belmont, I needed federal work study, and I came across Southern Word, and I applied at 2 in the morning because I didn't want to apply at midnight because I didn't want to seem that crazy. And I got that, and that is honestly, I say this all the time, one of the best things that I got out of college was finding Southern Word and starting to work with them. 'Cause I was like, my job is to go into places with young artists and tell them that they're amazing and help them to be amazing. This is my job. And it's amazing. It's so cool. And so I worked as an intern for my 4 years at Belmont, graduated in 2019, and came on as the fiction mentor and as the program coordinator. And that's been super awesome. It is so much work for that's so worth it. And it's the kind of work where you see the impact that you're having, like, in that session every time. You're able to like work with the students, see those light bulb moments, see that like those like confidence growth moments. Because like as Cam was saying, spoken word poetry, there's a lot of that performance element, there's a lot of that confidence element, the public speaking that is not most people's favorite. Ben's our executive director. He always talks about how that is like a lot of people are more afraid of public speaking than they are of death, which is like an actual statistic. And for me, when I came to Southern Word, I was the kind of person who like I would walk into rooms and I would walk in like that and like, hi, my name's Gabriela Gonzales, nice to meet you. And like even just kind of being around my coworkers, being around the students and watching them come into themselves, I started to come into myself and build that confidence within me that I'm able to then kind of like pass on to students, pass on to my coworkers. Like we're all able to kind of build each other up. And I know I just went off, but I'm very passionate about it.
No, the way that just affects everyone around you, that reminds me of what we talked about, Cameron, with the hope effect. And just, it is all those things that we do, good or bad, are going to impact people around us. So we want to spread positivity and hope and love. So that's awesome that you're able to inspire the confidence for people to be able to do that, because that is not easy, speaking in front of people.
Nope.
No matter how many times you do it. And I know, I used to introduce plays before they would begin. I'd address the audience before performance. And no matter how many times I did it, I still had butterflies and I was a little shaky, and it was very nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, the majority of time, and I love being able to tell students this when they are working on performance pieces, but the majority of times that I have performed my spoken word on stages, I black out. Like, I don't remember the moment that I performed because I get so nervous, and then I get off and I'm like, ooh, okay, apparently I just performed.
I made it, yay.
Yeah, I'm like, it's done, I guess. But I know I've just been kind of saying a lot of stuff, but Khadidja, who we have here as well on the side, wherever she is, in relation to me on the screen, Khadidja, did we meet through fiction workshop? We did start meeting fiction workshop. So Khadidja came to the fiction workshop that I lead at the library. I know she came when the pandemic had kind of started, and so we were virtual. So the first time we met was through Zoom, and she just had like these amazing stories and all these ideas, like so many ideas, and was like, I need to figure out what to do with these ideas. And through fiction ended up being part of our Echo Squad, which is like our team of high school interns. So that's kind of how I know Khadidja and how she sort of came into Southern Word. So that's an intro for her, who's just, then all of a sudden she starts emceeing poetry, all these wild things, like.
Wow. Yeah, you're kind of the star of the show today, Khadidja, because you've got a big event coming up. And I'd love to hear about kind of your beginning in this, what inspired you and how you got involved, and if that was easy for you at first.
So really, I've been a type of like writer person for a long time. Like I remember writing fiction, like just novels, short stories, or whatever, just writing down ideas, like back when I was in elementary school. And I think I even remember like there was this one time we could like submit our poetry or something to the Southern Word, but that was like way back in like 6th grade, I think, or 7th grade. So that was an even earlier introduction to Southern Word, because I was like, oh, well, why don't I just put my poetry out there and see? I did get declined, but it's okay, because I'm not really as a poetry person as I am a fiction writer. But definitely with the Southern word, having like them having a music aspect also with this like writing aspect has also made me like grow a bit, because I didn't think I would ever produce someone's song, or I didn't think I would ever make my own song and the beat, or like host or do any of this. Or well, I've hosted plenty of times, but I haven't made like, you know, songs like that before. And this was like my first time, and I was like, this is kind of cool. And really it's just like after Southern Word, it's just gone farther. Like I've learned how to like write a full like actual novel, and I want to like try to get it published and like put it on the Kindle and everything, try to like, get it out there. And like, it's just I've never thought that like I would like actually take a hobby that I had, like writing and like singing, all of that stuff, and like make it into something that I actually may do for a living. Like it's kind of cool. But I think Southern Word really like opened that up, because I would have never thought I've done half the things I did with Southern Word.
So would you say they gave you the tools to pursue your dream, or it helped you in that, kind of give you some direction on where to go?
Definitely. So definitely the tools for like learning how to like structure a novel, definitely. Because I didn't even know that we needed 600,000 words for a novel. I was like, I think the Word document I have is good enough with the 120 words story or whatever. But yeah, but I definitely think that also helped with the like formal structure. And then also like me figuring out that there's a studio in the library. Like I saw it, I looked at it, I was like, wow, I wonder who's in there. But I've never like actually gone in and like see they have actual like production, like beat production and all of this, like all of the guitars, all of the pianos, all of this stuff. And it's like I would actually shout out the library for even having something like that, because them MacBooks in there, they're like $1,000 each. So
Oh,
like that's amazing. And like especially when I went to the summer studio, seeing all of the types of talent, like it's amazing that like, that library could even give something like that. Like they just have so many resources for these people that have all these amazing talents. So I think that's also a great thing.
that is wonderful. And that is something we need more of. And libraries are often, depending on the community, underfunded and in danger of sometimes of being closed down. I live in a community called Dixon, right outside of Nashville. And at one time they were talking about closing our library, and there was a big uproar in the community. And I'm glad that people stepped forward to stop that. But yeah, that's a resource and underutilized. How many people don't utilize the resources at their library? And it's just wonderful for arts for the community. So that is fantastic. I don't know that I've ever seen a library that has all of that in it. So that's incredible.
They've been just the Nashville Public Library has been such an incredible partner with us. Like anything we are excited about doing, they are right there to kind of come alongside us and provide us with that space. We have a lot of mentors who are there throughout the week at the different libraries, different library branches, music mentors who just like sit in the library and wait for the students to come and just work with whoever walks in, which is so cool because you have some of these students, again, like Khadidja was saying, who are like, I don't know, I've never done this, can I do this? And then, you have these super lovely people who are ready to just like get them started, who are passionate about music and passionate about humans and like putting that together. And then Summer Studio, which Khadidja mentioned, is one of our summer programs where students from kind of throughout Nashville come together and they have a 1-week intensive camp together where they meet at the library every day for it's like 4 hours, isn't it, Khadidja? And kind of hone in on projects and work with each other. So it's like these students who have never met each other and suddenly it's like, hey, I really like writing. I love producing music. I'm a guitar player. Let's jump in together and write something. And then they perform it on that Friday. And like that was so wild, is going to Summer Studios performance this year, seeing Khadidja get up and start singing. And I remember I went up to you after, I was like, since when? Like, are you good at everything? All right. But Cam, like, opportunity now, Summer
Yeah.
Studio, I'm gonna pass that over to you because
I mean, Summer Studios just brings out like all the talents and so many people, and we're just like, man, a person may come in thinking they're only going to be doing one thing, and then they find out they're good at so many other things over here. Not to mention they collaborate with other students, and so the collaborations just bring a synergy that just really transforms everything. And so it's really cool to see the students transform. It's really cool to see them just diving into the arts in a way that they didn't think would be available to them this soon. You know, a lot of students are thinking this is something I have to wait till college or once I'm older. So to get a taste of that side of art this early really prepares them so that when they choose to go to college and they decide, what am I going to do for a career? They can actually picture now themselves as an artist, a person who could actually be recording and doing music in a way that, oh, this is actually comfortable for me now. I can comfortably say I'm going to choose a college based off of wanting to do this. And so that has really bred a lot of students that I have known personally who've gone on to college, who've gotten scholarships because of poetry contest, or who've gone to great schools with full academic rise. And I know a few students that we just talked to who've gotten some great college offers. So it's super exciting to see students really excelling in that space. And it's like, man, and it's really reassuring because we didn't have a lot of these resources when we were younger. So, you know, we were given, I know for myself, I was given the statistics like, oh, only 1 in 16,000 actually make it and things like that. So for them, those odds get to decrease and really become something more tangible earlier. So I'm excited, and we're going to have quite a few students coming to this event in February, which I'm excited for. And it's going to be super amazing. Plenty of poetry, plenty of music, and all kinds of great fun. So
yeah,
That is wonderful.
real fast, just with that too, like what's so cool is, you know, you have that collaboration, you have writing practice, which is just building those literacy skills. And it's like, even if you have students who are like, hey, I don't want to be a writer when I grow up, or I don't want to produce music when I grow up, like
yeah.
everyone needs to know how to write, everyone needs to know how to
Yep.
speak, everyone needs to know how to collaborate. And
Yep.
like they're able to learn that in like a safe, supportive place where they're able to grow into that and be like, hey, like we always tell students, it's like when we're in residencies teaching in schools, and it's like, hey, I want to be a football player. It's like, well,
Yeah.
football players need to know how to speak because you're
Mhm.
going to get interviewed and you're going to talk.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to go into business. You have to know how to collaborate because collaboration can be really hard. And if you start learning that early, it can only get better as you get
Yeah.
older. So
Right.
it's such a cool opportunity, like even for students who don't choose to go into the arts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're
And
giving them that space. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I could say right now that's so important because of the pandemic and students being online most of the time, most of them are coming back into these spaces and they don't really know how to interact with other students. And a lot of them are having social anxiety that's at like a 9 or 10. So definitely our program has been helping a lot of students just ease their way back into collaborating with each other and just learning what it means to really do that, because we understand that that's super important. And another cool thing that we really bring on is the social emotional learning. And it's hard to collaborate and really effectively get something done without having that social emotional learning, really understanding who you are and how that pertains to other people as well. So super important things uh, that we're really teaching them, and that is really helping. So
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. The camaraderie that you're building, and what you were saying, Gabriela, is that they may not go into that, but using the arts and this environment to help them find out more about themselves. Because, you know, young people, we don't know always what we want to do right away. And we're kind of pushed to, you need to know what you're going to do. And I love that you guys are giving them a space where they can come in and explore all of these things and learn more about themselves and what they want to do. And they may discover something they had no clue about before. And it's just, you're building strength and within these young people that is so important. And tell me, Khadidja, you know, what advice you have for other young people, anyone that might be watching this, you know, that doesn't know what they want to do, how to get involved, or if, you know, they're not sure about how to get started. What's your advice for all of your peers?
I would say just take your chances, like take risks, because you have so many opportunities. Like even if you think you don't, you can make your own opportunities. Like you can, like, say, call the president. He'll probably answer. Like just take risk, and like whatever you like put aside, you're like, oh, I don't think I'll get far with this. Try it. Like there's not much you, as a child, or at least from like age 0 to 17 or even 18, you're not really fending for yourself. You have your parents, hopefully. For some people, you know, y'all are different, but it's okay. But still, you have a chance to, you know, branch out, explore. Like that time is given to you and you shouldn't waste it. I think you should, like, every single thing you want to do, just do it. Like maybe not all at once, because then you won't finish it, but definitely, you know, break it apart. If you think, hey, I want to play guitar, you know, maybe stop by the guitar shop, you know, just play it. Don't even buy it. Just play it or play around with it, see if you like it. And then if you're like, oh, this is something I really want to do, then, you know, purchase that, you know, invest in your own self. And I think that's something that a lot of people have kind of lost, like the sense of taking risk and making themselves happy. Because definitely I don't want to grow up and like do something that I don't want to do, or do something that I feel forced to do. Like I want to do something either to help people or to like make myself happy, or something that I enjoy. So I definitely think that pursuing these things that you gain interest in early definitely gives you a sense of personality. It gives you hobbies to do, and maybe even make a living off of it as an adult, or even as a like a teenager, because definitely entrepreneurs are prevalent as teenagers as well. So anything you want to do, just do it, and nobody's stopping you. If they are, take them out your life and then keep doing it.
Right. Yes. And for anyone who doesn't have that support system at home, organizations like Southern Word are providing a community of support for people who need it. And so that's very important. There are resources and there is support out there. So I'm so thankful that you guys are doing this. Thank you for impacting the lives of young people this way.
Yeah.
Khadidja, I would love to hear some of your poetry. I'm so excited. I've been waiting, like, you know, the last several days. I'm like, oh, we're going to get to hear some poetry. So,
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, okay. So, the name of it is called the Golden, and I'll perform it to you now. The girl walks through the showers of glistening gold. One may think that it's a present, but so it's only told. The rain of metal comes down constantly, even though it may seem like a blessing at first. Swiftly, it gets old. The problems that come with it enlargen, both in importance and physicality. But it's great, right? To have it rain gold. No matter what is included, like the pain or the casualty. But over time, the rain gets heavier and the dread starts to fill. When will it ever end? This was a problem that is starting to build, until one day, the rain stops. When you draw your last breath, Was that value of gold worth the pain and suffering? Was it worth your life, which ended in death?
Wow. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Can you tell me the
Nice.
inspiration behind that one?
So I was thinking about like, I guess, other people looking into other people's lives and like kind of judging it and everything. And then it's like, oh, walk a mile in my shoes and see how it is. And then it's like, and initially you're like, oh, this is nice. I like this. I like all the perks, all the blessings, all of this. This is nice. But then like go through with it and you see all the responsibilities and all the problems that come with it. And then it's like, I can't do this anymore. But I mean, that's what some people have to like live with. Like, even though they do have some good aspects of them, and like you may think, oh, they're probably like amazing. They probably have an amazing life. Maybe they don't. And maybe you have to do, and they have to deal with the consequences that they're dealt with. And I mean, you can just look in and kind of share their happiness or share their kind of like great assets that they have, but you don't share that pain unless like they talk to you about it, or they would like at least show you, but you can't sense that and you can't see that through what they're portraying. So yeah.
Wow. You have inspired me. And I mean that. There's so much beauty in that. And that's what I love about young people and working with young people. Before, you've allowed yourself to become bitter and jaded by the world, as so many people do. There's just this open beauty, inspirational aspect to young people. And I want to keep that going. I want to see young people continue to go out into the community, and as they grow and flourish, and to inspire people, and we can maybe stop some of the hardness in the world. Tell me about this event that's coming up. I know it's February 25th at 2 p.m. And it's at the East Branch Library. I'll let you guys just tell me more about that.
Yeah. So yes, February 25th at 2 p.m. at the East Branch Library, we're going to be having a bunch of our youth coming out to just share poetry, music. We're going to have a live DJ, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be in the basement area of the East Branch Library. So please come out. It has been so much fun every year. It's called the Black Lift House Showcase, and so this is something to celebrate Black History Month, and the whole weekend is a festival. So you can definitely look at our social media site, Southern Word, or Southern_Word on IG, and then Southern Word on Facebook. But then I know another special event is going to be that night, the 25th at 7 p.m. at the Barbershop Theater. For any adults that want to share some poetry or feeling inspired, definitely come on out. It's going to be an open mic. Going to be a lot of fun. Going to be having some great poetry there as well. So, yes.
Wonderful. And Khadidja, you're performing at this event, correct?
Yeah, I'll be performing both a poem and a song. Hopefully, I haven't gotten it through yet, but I definitely want to work on a song and perform it there.
Oh, that is wonderful.
I just loved what Khadidja said about invest in yourself. You mentioned that, you just said that phrase, and that kind of stuck with me. I loved that. Like, that you don't want to grow older to do something that you are just expected to do, but rather to do something that invests in your community and that invests in yourself. I loved that. I'm going to leave you with Khadidja's words because I loved that.
When you do things that are true to yourself and who you are, that's what is going to shine the biggest light. You're stifling all of that when you just sort of pigeonhole yourself into someone else's expectations.
Absolutely.
And we want to see people shine and flourish. And that's going to change a lot in the world, I think. There's just so much right now, people just kind of going through the motions, and the bright lights aren't shining. like they should. So that's
Yeah.
definitely a way to do that. Also, I wanted to ask you guys, all of you, just any advice that you have for people who are unsure how to get involved in their own communities. What sort of things can they look for? Where can they go if they're in a small community, big city, but anyone that may be watching this and they are interested in getting involved somehow? We lost Ken. There he is.
There we go. He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, sorry. So as far as Southern Word concerned, is that what you're asking?
Yes. Well, so yes. How can people get involved with Southern Word? But also anyone, if we've got someone in other states, anybody that may be watching this from anywhere in the world, what are ways that people can get involved?
Yeah. So I could definitely say that for people who are in the city, there's a lot of great programming that we have going on, whether it may be in some of your schools, or it may be after school workshops that we have going on at the library. So I know we have some at the downtown library. I know Gabriela and Jackie have been doing workshops with the fiction writing and creative writing. And then we also have production, audio production. So those who really want to get into audio production, really learning how to make music, those are available as well. But then the cool thing is these workshops are also offered online. So if you are not able to make it in person and you are in another city or another state and you really want to get involved in this kind of stuff, we have all of these workshops online after school for students. And so it's great, phenomenal stuff that you're learning for free. All you have to do is sign up. Sounds like Gabriella may have something. Wait.
I have unfortunately we can't have people out of state are not able to do it because of the grant stuff. So
gotcha.
That is
all right.
An unfortunate thing. So if we can...
But that actually does bring me to the other thing, alternative I was about to say is I know that there are other organizations that are like ours that are across the U.S. So we are under the umbrella of Youth Speaks. So Youth Speaks has a lot of branches of different organizations, just like ours, in different areas of the U.S. So definitely check out their website and see what branches in your community and just see what you can get involved in for sure.
Yeah, and I would definitely, sorry, Kim.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say definitely reach out to your libraries. Most libraries are going to have awesome stuff going on there. Yeah, tons of different things going on at libraries, and also like at your schools. There are a lot of after school clubs, things that like teachers are passionate about that they are bringing students into. I know I've been to lots of schools where like, yeah, we have the poetry group happening. We have a fiction group, but then like I've seen Girls That Code. I've seen LGBTQ clubs, things where you're like, I did not know that my club offered this, or my school offered this many clubs, and most schools do. And those are great resources to maybe be like, oh, let's try out the poetry group. Oh, poetry is not for me. All right, let's try choir. Oh, choir is not for me. I like coding. All right. So it's a good place to be able to like jump around and find out what you like. So I love what Khadidja was saying. Again, Khadidja has all this wisdom that I'm loving. But like, practice stuff out. Like she was saying, try going to a guitar class. Maybe you love it. Maybe you don't. Yeah. What was the harm in trying? Because now you know. And I think that's just community centers, library, places like the YMCA, your school clubs. Those are places I would say would be great resources.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And then if you don't find what you're looking for, start your own. I always love to encourage people, reach out to people that are interested in the same things and start your own group and let's keep it rolling. So
yes.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll start with Cameron, and then we'll just go around. I don't know how we're going. We're all kind of in different places here, but give us your socials and where people can find you or how you want people to find you.
Yes. So on Instagram, you guys can follow me at Cam Speaks 1. That's a great one. And then of course on Facebook, Cameron L. Mitchell. Yes.
Awesome.
Gabriella.
Oh yeah, I'll give us again the Southern Word Instagram. That's going to be at Southern_word. Twitter is going to be at Southern Word, and then our website is www.southernword.org. And on there you
Mm.
can see all of our programming, get some cool quotes from students, see what's coming up for us,
Yes.
and yeah, things like that. My kind of separate stuff, which is my writing. You can go to my website at gabrielagonzales.com, or I have Twitter. I don't have Instagram. Twitter, which is Gabriela G2597. You can see all my weird writing stuff going on there.
Yeah.
And I don't have social media right now. I am a child.
But maybe
But
in person.
yeah, but I mean, I have an email. Does that?
That's only if you want people to email you. You may not want a bunch of people emailing you. I don't know.
Okay.
You can send me your DMs and I will pass them to Khadidja.
Yeah.
Well, people can go to Southern Word and find out upcoming events. And I'm sure they're going to be able to see you, Khadidja. I'm sure that you're going to be doing a lot more with Southern Word and continue along with that. So, and do you ever plan on, as you get older, becoming a mentor? Have you thought about doing that?
I haven't really thought about mentoring. I don't know. I don't feel like I could teach someone something. I feel like I have a lot more to learn. But definitely if someone asks me for help. I mean, I can't decline. I'll try to help. But no, I don't really think I would be a mentor. I would just,
Okay.
do what I do.
All right. Well, thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. I just cannot thank you enough for the impact that you're having in the community and on young people and on your peers, Khadidja. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you guys for coming on. And hopefully we can do this again sometime. And it's been wonderful. I feel enlightened. I'm very encouraged and edified right now. So I love doing these.
Thank you
That's
so
what
much
we
for
look.
having us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
anytime. Anytime.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will see you guys later and y'all have a great rest of your week.
You too.
All right. You have a good one.
Bye.